Welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content about childhood sexual abuse. On this channel I share things to do with my experiences of going through this childhood trauma. I also share news stories and add my thoughts and commentary to them, and also from time to time I interview other survivors and their supporters in hopes of raising awareness of this childhood trauma. So if this is the type of content that you're looking for, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any of the uploads, and if you like the content, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. So first of all, I just want to quickly just apologise to you all for my lack of consistency in the videos. At the moment I'm trying to juggle many different things, working, family, studying my master's degree. So at the moment my videos haven't been weekly, but as and when I can, I continue to upload videos. So please do bear with me, because coming up in 2023 and beyond, there are many different things I want to share with you on this channel, different things that I want to do. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can keep posted, and also as well I will post in the community tab page about what is going on, if I do any uploads or anything that I want to communicate to you guys. So please don't forget to subscribe. So in today's video I have a question that was posed to me about childhood sexual abuse, and the question that the person asked me is, should I tell my child about my experience of going through childhood sexual abuse? Now, I don't know what has kind of prompted this person to want to think about telling their child, because they didn't actually say. But one of the things I do know when it comes to survivors of childhood sexual abuse that do have children, sometimes children may be a little bit older, like maybe 10 years old and upwards, start to notice things about the parent. Maybe they notice that they particularly don't want to be around certain family members, or that they're distant, or that they may have a phobia about something, and that can at times trigger the child to want to ask a question about why the parent has an issue in this area. Not necessarily that they know that it's to do with childhood sexual abuse, but maybe they notice something that seems a little bit amiss. But in answer to the question that this person has posed to me about whether or not they should tell their child about their childhood sexual abuse, it depends on a number of things really. First of all, it depends on the child's age. I do honestly believe that, you can have conversations with your children as long as they are age appropriate. So it really depends on the child's age, and then also as well on how much you want to share with your child. And obviously according to the child's age and their understanding, it may vary. I do believe that if the child does ask questions about things that they notice, I honestly do believe that you should be honest with your child or your children, as I mentioned already, about age appropriate and what you feel comfortable sharing. I had my own experiences of this question with my 16-year-old daughter when she was about 10 years old, and at the time I was working part-time for a children's services department, so I was surrounded by social workers and people who worked with children who had gone through trauma. So what I did was to seek advice from them on whether I should tell my 10-year-old at the time about my experiences and how I should do that. And the advice that was given to me about that is that to kind of share a little bit about my book, because my daughter did outright ask me about what happened to me as a child, because obviously she knows that, I wrote about it and that I'm an author and I wrote about my experience. So what happened is she asked me to share a little bit of my book with her, and I just picked a little bit about my beginning story, about my family dynamics, and at the time she just didn't feel comfortable with it. I think probably because she was apprehensive about what was going to come up next, because obviously, as I said, she knew that I'd gone through childhood sexual abuse. So we left it at that. My daughter is now 16 years old and she has known a little bit about my story. She knows enough to know that I had gone through this trauma as a child. She doesn't ask about the details of the acts or any graphic information. And to be honest with you, she hasn't really broached the subject again since. She doesn't really want to know. I think for her, it is a thing of that, you know, I'm her mother and I've gone through this experience, and she can't fathom, especially with me and my husband's relationship with her, you know, how it is secure and safe and loving, how a parent can do that to their child. So I think for her, she just finds the whole thing overwhelming, and that's totally fine. Maybe later on in adulthood, she will ask about that, and you know, we will have that conversation. With my older daughter, who's a lot older than my 16-year-old, we had that kind of little conversation as well, but she did find out some information, obviously, about what had happened to me, and I did share some of that with her. But it wasn't really probably until about 20 or something like that when I saw her, and I just happened to have a copy of my book on me, and I kind of shared a little bit with her what it is about. So she has a copy of my book. I don't know whether she's read it or not, but obviously in there it talks about my abuse. So what I would say to you, if you are a parent whose child is asking particular questions, I definitely would say, you know, seek advice about it. Maybe, you know, you can speak to somebody who knows about your experience, maybe run some things by them. Or if, like I mentioned, you know, maybe social workers or counsellors or somebody in a professional field who knows about children's trauma, maybe speak to them as well. But I definitely do think it's not worth hiding it. I just think it's about being very kind of wise with the information that you share, and whether it is age appropriate for that child to know. And I mean, you know, children are quite inquisitive. You know, later on they will come back probably and ask more questions, and then, you know, you can revisit that and decide again how much you want to share about your childhood sexual abuse. So that is all I really wanted to share for this video. If you do have any questions about childhood sexual abuse, maybe broaching the subject with friends, family, relatives, any type of questions to do, it doesn't matter what you think about this question, whether you might think it's silly to ask, please do get in touch with me. I will leave my email address right here. Get in touch with me, and I'll also leave it in the description box below. And when I do post it on the community tab, because I do plan to make this a regular segment on my channel where survivors have asked me questions, or people have asked me questions about childhood sexual abuse, and I share my answer on, you know, videos on this platform. You know, I do plan to make it a regular thing, so I will post in the community tab as well. If you want to ask me any questions, you can ask me a question there as well. But that is it for this video. Until the next one, take care.